Zimbabwe Estate Management Association recently embarked on creating a new system to automate proxy nominations. This video provides members with a step-by-step guide on the use of the new system. Please ensure you are using the latest version of the Zimbabwe app, available on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, to access all features smoothly. To start, members are required to click on the Zimbabwe AGM tile found under their home page. They will thereafter proceed to authenticate themselves via biometric access, and they will then be able to view the AGM and proxy registration link, as well as a downloads repository. As a member, if you click on the AGM proxy registration link, you will see the property that you are linked to. In this particular case, we are using a test property called the Zima control room. You are able to see basic information about the property, what type of property it is, whether the property is individually owned, trust-owned, or owned by a company, etc. As per Zima's current records, the duly authorized representative information will be displayed. Only the current duly authorized person is able to update and confirm their authorization for the respective property and to have access to this button. Should there be any changes, as the current duly authorized, you would need to click the duly authorized representative button and proceed to complete the form that requires copy consent. Once completed, the form is then submitted to Zima through this process. Upon receipt, Zima will process the changes and be in contact with you in regard to any outstanding documents that may still be required to update the current duly authorized representative. Once the duly authorized is in place, or if you are a member who does not need any changes to your duly authorized, you may proceed straight to the next section where you will be able to view your information. As an example, let's assume a company owns a property. The first step would be to review your documentation, and as a company-owned property, Zima will require your ID documents, your title deeds, your CIPC documents, and your juristic entity resolution. Should Zima have this documentation on record, it will be indicated by a green tick and verified. The documentation that is currently on record is also able to be viewed. If there is any information that is missing, it will be represented by a red cross. There are a number of reasons why Zima may not have uploaded your information. For instance, the quality of the hard copy record may not be suitable enough for Zima to import it and pull the required data off it and upload it into the system. In this case, you may be requested to re-upload your information. Once all information is in place, you will be able to proceed to step 2. Again, taking the demonstration test property example called Zima control room. In this case, you can see that the information and documentation that is required is all in place, and it has also been verified by Zima. This means that the member can now move on to step 2, which is the AGM/proxy nomination. At this point, members will be able to click on the button to register their intention to vote and participate at the upcoming AGM by completing the pre-populated AGM registration form. Members will also be asked to indicate their intention to vote in person, virtually, or via proxy. If we take the example of voting by proxy, the POPI Act will first need to be accepted and signed. Members will then need to click on Next to get to the form of proxy and will be given the option of nominating the board chair to exercise their vote. Select yes or no. Also, select whether your proxy is going to vote in person or virtually, and whether it will be an instructed vote or a discretionary vote. If it's an instructed vote, you will be presented with a table below that reflects all of the resolutions. If it's a discretionary vote, this table will not be visible. If we take the example of an instructed vote, proceed to enter the name of your proxy, as well as your proxy's cell phone number, email address, and ID number. If you have selected an instructed vote, you will then need to select how you choose to vote on the various resolutions. From there, proceed to the director nominations. Please note that in terms of this 2025 AGM, you can only select 2 nominees. You will have to click to accept the form of proxy notes, and there's also a very important note in this section which informs members that a PDF version of the form of proxy will be emailed to them after they have actually submitted it, and that they are required to sign it and then re-upload it back onto the system. So, once your submission has been made, please remember to check your emails and download your form of proxy. At this point, step 3 will be activated on your app, where you will be able to sign the downloaded form of proxy PDF. Taking this test submission on screen as an example, members will be able to see that the file has been verified by Zima, and they can note the actual submission that was made. This is the unsigned submission. From here, you sign the form of proxy, which you have downloaded, and then move on to step 3, which is to upload your signed copy of the form of proxy. Another important point to note is that once Zima has accepted and verified your nomination in the previous step, your proxy will also automatically receive a notification of his or her nomination. Please make your proxy aware of this and that they will need to accept the nomination, complete the proxy acceptance form, and upload their ID document. Once your proxy's documents are verified, you will be able to see the green ticks and confirm that the process has been completed. Members will also note a Share Link to Desktop button, which gives you the option of completing the entire process of steps 1, 2, and 3 via your desktop browser. Thank you for taking the time to familiarize yourself with the new AGM Proxy Automation System. We trust this guide has made the process clearer and more convenient, helping ensure your participation in the upcoming AGM is seamless and secure.